Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us right here on Sports Scene, right here on News Talk 1650, right here on this July 20th. Sports Scene every Wednesday, noon to 1, right here on News Talk 1650. Also, sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Tell your friends about 1650 on Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnline.com. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup. Sponsors on GJBTV.com. Marketplace sponsors. Guest lineup presented by Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant as well. 2 great locations in Virginia Beach. Phone line presented by Newcastle. Sponsors this month on WHKT, Fink's Car Care, Spaghetti Eddies, Long's Billiards, Newcastle, Crawl Space, Postal World, and Me Hogar. And, of course, the Republican National Convention going on, dominating the headlines right now. The Olympics are not too far away. Always a lot of people just ducking out of there because of the Zika virus and a lot of health concerns there. And, of course, a lot of stuff going on with the NFL. Training camps not too far away. Of course, the preseason in August. And, of course, baseball. Tiger is going to miss another major. What else is new? But we've had this gentleman on before. I met him several times working for Fox, seeing him at Orioles games. He is the voice of the Orioles on radio. Let's welcome back Joe Angel to Virginia Beach. How are you, Joe?
Hey, Greg. How you doing, man? I'm doing well. It's interesting you mentioned the Republican National Convention because I think the last couple of games, the New York Yankees have helped to make the Eastern Division great again. I mean, right now it's the most interesting divisional race. The Yankees haven't won those 2 games. Boston's winning. The Blue Jays are getting Bautista back pretty soon. So it's going to be a lot of fun the rest of the way.
Right. The Orioles, kind of struggling right now after the All-Star break. And, of course, they're 53-39. They're still in first, but barely. And, of course, they've got the Yankees tonight at 7:05. What's been going on since the All-Star break?
Well, the Orioles right now, they're just not scoring runs. The Orioles are a very good offensive team. They're the kind of a team that can really punish mediocre pitching. But if you throw good pitching at the Orioles, they can find a way to shut them down. There's a lot of strikeouts in the lineup. There's also a lot of danger, lots of home runs. So right now the Orioles are having trouble scoring runs. I think they're like 2 for their last 27 with runners in scoring position. And, hey, the Yankees have made a couple of good starts in the series, so they won those 2 games. And they're also injured right now, Greg, because, Chris Davis has had the stomach virus. He's missed the first 2 games at Yankee Stadium. Matt Wieters in the first game got hit by a pitch on the foot, and that swelled up. He was not able to play last night, and I don't think he'll be able to play again tonight. They've had to deal without Darren O'Day in the bullpen, and there's a major difference maker in any bullpen. So these are things that will take care of themselves when they do get healthy, and they will start to hit again. I think the Orioles are in it for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Of course, injuries are always part of baseball, too, but you look at the Red Sox are 52-39, Toronto's 53-42. It's just tight all the way you look at it. And, of course, the Red Sox have a little bit of an added boost with Ortiz supposedly retiring this year.
Well, yeah, he's had, I think you agree, Greg, an unbelievable season. At this stage of his career, at his age, what he's been able to do this season has just been absolutely phenomenal, and you kind of wonder how he's able to do that. But he's done it the entire season. I can't recall at any point this season where Ortiz has been in an offensive funk. Mm-hmm. So he's been very consistent. He's in among the leaders in all of the major offensive categories. So yeah, he's been fun to watch. The Red Sox right now are playing a bunch of home games. Right now, they're just a half a game behind the Orioles in the Eastern Division. And as we said, it's the most interesting race in baseball right now. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
This is Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1, live right here on News Talk 1650, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. A pleasure to talk to Joe Angel, the voice of the Baltimore Orioles, Greg Bicouvaris, along with another Joe Daniel, here in Sports Scene right now. And you talk about the Orioles and, of course, what Buck's got. You mentioned some of the the injuries, especially with Chris Davis. He's had some health concerns the last few days, but the consistency of Jones, Machado, Trumbo, and Hardy have been pretty solid for the Orioles. But like you said, especially in August and September, it's going to come down to starting pitching.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think that the Orioles are going to have to find a way to improve the starting rotation, because right now I think the bullpen is feeling the ill effects of a starting rotation that has been very inconsistent. Chris Tillman has been phenomenal. He's won 13 games. He's been the ace in that starting rotation. And yet I think to a certain extent, Tillman, I think, has overachieved this season. They're waiting on Kevin Gausman to develop as a young pitcher. He's got great stuff. But he's still finding a way to find himself, if you will. Kevin Gausman really hasn't learned how to win baseball games yet. I think eventually he will. He's going to win a bunch of games, but he has yet to do that. So they're hoping that he develops. Giovanni Gallardo, he's pitching tonight at Yankee Stadium. He really is an adventure to watch, because there's always danger around the corner with him. Lots of 3-2 counts, lots of extended at-bats, lots of base runners. So it's not a whole lot of fun to watch if you're an Oriole fan. Ubaldo Jimenez has pitched his way out of the starting rotation. He's in the bullpen right now, and so he's become a non-entity. They're going to have to find a way to improve the starting rotation, because if they don't, I really don't believe the Orioles have good enough starting pitching to become division champions. And even if they do find their way into the playoffs, I think in the playoffs you're going to face the best pitching. And as I said earlier, if you throw really good pitching against the Orioles, you're going to find a way to beat them.
This is crucial right now, Joe. You can't look and can't look too far into August, because you got Cleveland right on the horizon too.
Yeah, I mean, the Indians got the best pitching in baseball at the time. So, the competition is fierce, and I think we all know what's going to happen. What's interesting to me is the Yankee ball club.
Sure.
Because the fact that they won the first 2 games in this 4-game series, all of a sudden the Yankees, or I think a couple of games ago, after losing 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, I think, it was a universal feeling. Everybody thought that the Yankees, they were done, man. You got the trading deadline coming up just around the corner. The people are convinced they're going to be sellers at the trading deadline, and they do have pieces to sell if they choose to go in that direction. But now they're just 6.5 games out. Let's say they sweep the next 2 games. They sweep a 4-game series against the division leaders. It'd be very difficult for the Yankees to become sellers all of a sudden. I mean, their fans would be in a turmoil. They'd have to go for it. So I think the Yankees right now are in a very interesting position, and in the next week or so, some very tough and even tougher decisions now are going to have to be made.
Talking to Joe Angel right here on Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us right here. Hello to all the locals and tourists. And, of course, the Yankees right now, 47-46. They're always a tough out at home. They're not what they used to be. They don't have the stars. A-Rod's getting older. The whole team is older. But 1 or 2 wins, and, of course, a couple more wins, and it's a totally different division. And you got to figure that Boston and Toronto are probably going to hold serve.
Yeah, and the Blue Jays are, I think they were the preseason favorite. They're the defending division champions. They've got a very potent offense. They're going to get Bautista back pretty soon. He's been injured for quite some time now. So the Blue Jays are still, I think, the favorite, but they're right there with this striking distance. The Orioles, as we talked about, their starting pitching is going to have to improve. The Yankees are going to have to find some offense to go with their pitching staff. They've had a couple of good starts in the series. And I think last night's game for the Yankees and for the Orioles was a crucial game because of the way the Yankees won that game last night. Some very important add-on runs at the end of the game, and they did not have to use that 3-headed monster, which for the Orioles does not bode well for the game tonight because they're available. And, with the Yankees, there's a lot of pressure when you play them because you have to have the lead by the time you get to the 7th inning. Otherwise, you're going to lose that game.
And, of course, Buck's always got a little bit more intensity when he takes on the Yankees, although he managed them several decades ago. It's still, it gets him a little bit, of course. He never managed, at that stadium, but still, it's the Yankees. It's getting late July. His antenna's up even more.
I don't think there's any doubt. You made a very good point there. There's no doubt that Buck Showalter would rather beat the Yankees than any other team in baseball, with the Boston Red Sox a very close second. So let's just put it that way. Yeah, I think Buck, Buck is one of the more talented managers, I think, in the game, maybe top 2 or 3 managers in the game, along with, I think, Bruce Bochy, and I think Dusty Baker back with the Nationals. I've always felt that he was a phenomenal manager. But there's no manager in baseball that handles a bullpen that handles a bullpen better than Buck Showalter. So if the division title is going to be decided by the way a manager handles a bullpen, I think Buck is going to win that battle. He's done a phenomenal job with the Orioles, and he's going to find a way to get whatever he can out of the rotation and eventually with the bullpen get the job done.
Very good talking to Joe Angel right here on Sports Scene. Glad you're with us live right here on the radio every Wednesday, noon to 1. Are you big into social media or not too much, Joe?
You know what? I'm not. But
I know Jim Hunter
about
is.
About a month ago, I finally made a decision to get on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get on Twitter. I've got my own little Twitter account. I'm learning a lot about how to handle that. And it's been fun. I enjoy the rapport with the fans out there. I think it's a good thing. I'm having fun with it. Let's put it that way.
We'll have to add each other. I'll add you a little bit later on. And, of course, I know Jim Hunter is big into it as well. Let's talk about what it's like for your routine. And tell the fans, you've called a lot of different teams. Give us a little rundown of all the teams that you've called in your illustrious career. This is your second stint with the Orioles, too.
No, it's actually my third stint with the Orioles.
Wow.
Yeah, somehow they keep taking me back, Greg.
Goodness.
But I began in 1976 with the San Francisco Giants. First baseball game I ever broadcast. I never did college baseball, never did baseball in the minor leagues, but the first game I ever broadcast was in the major leagues, a game between the San Francisco Giants and the Atlanta Braves way back in 1976. And my broadcast partner that day was Al Michaels, who then left the Giants after the 76 season to go to ABC. And that created an opening, a full-time opening with the San Francisco Giants. And I was, it was a pleasure to be able to work with a guy like Lon Simmons, who is now in the broadcasters wing of the Hall of Fame. He was my first full-time partner. But I've been with the Giants. I've been with the Minnesota Twins. I did the Yankees one year in 1991 when they weren't very good. Stump Merrill was managing then. We never saw Steinbrenner because that was the year he was suspended by Major League Baseball for those illegal campaign contributions, I guess. So I never saw Mr. Steinbrenner that year. But, I've been to Baltimore 3 times. My first year with Baltimore was 1988. That was the team that began the season 0-21.
I remember. Yeah.
You may recall the 1988 season. They lost 107 games that year. They began 0-21, and I saw every one of those pitches. So, it's been a great career. It's coming up 40 years in the major leagues, and I never thought, and they said it wouldn't last, and it's gone pretty well.
How do you maintain the routine on the road? I know you like to play golf when you're at home, but give us an idea of like your diet, your routine. Are there certain restaurants that you go to in every city?
Well, you know what? I don't go to a lot of restaurants because we have night games every night, and I'm at the ballpark at about 3:30 in the afternoon for a 7:00 game. So I wind up my favorite restaurant might be the media dining room at Yankee Stadium. They do a phenomenal job in that place. They give you lots of choices. So I eat most of my meals at the ballpark, just like fans do. So I don't go to a lot of restaurants, and being in baseball for 40 years and traveling that much, I love the job. I love the work. I love it once I get to the ballpark and do my prep and the game begins. I mean, that's the part I enjoy the most. I hate to travel now.
Right.
The packing and unpacking and the hotels and the team buses and getting into a hotel at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and playing that night. That takes a lot of getting used to. And the older you get, the harder it is to adjust to it. But once the game starts and once I get to the ballpark, that's why I love doing it. It's just a phenomenal game. As they say, baseball been very, very good to me, and I'll never forget it. And it's been a wonderful career, and it's one really that I never planned because of the way I got into the game. It was almost by accident, and yet I think it was meant to be. And it's been a wonderful experience. And of course,
the Tides are the AAA affiliate of the Orioles, and they have Yastrzemski's one of his relatives playing for the team. I'm wondering if Buck's keeping an eye on any of the Tides players that you know of.
Oh, yeah, you can't help but do that. And you mentioned Yastrzemski. Here's a kid who's going to be in the major leagues, and he's one of those kids that, he can do a lot. He can run. He's got some power. He'll use the entire field, very good defensively. He can play several positions. He's a Buck Showalter kind of player, and I think it's not that too distant in the future that he's going to get a chance to play in the major leagues. But, hey, the Orioles right now, you talk about the trade deadline, and you look at their minor leagues, if they want to go out and acquire a top-quality starting pitcher, it's going to be tough to do because the minor league system right now is is not all that plentiful. And Buck Showalter and Dan Duquette, the general manager, I think they're firm believers in giving people within the organization already every opportunity to contribute and become the guy that they need. So the Orioles first, they look to within, and then only in an emergency basis will they go out and make a deal to try to improve the ball club. So I don't think the Orioles are going to be all that active at the trade deadline.
Right. It's just going to be a matter of just taking one game at a time. That cliche is really going to be true. They're 53-39. A few more minutes here with Joe Angel. Thanks for his time, his talent, and his treasure. And, of course, you mentioned the Giants. And, of course, the former Orioles voice, John Miller, is still out there, of course. And Vin Scully supposedly is retiring, too. I guess, is that a rumor or is that definitely a done deal? It seems like this is going to be it for Scully. And I'm sure you guys haven't done too many games over there at Chavez Ravine, but you were there this year.
Well, I just saw Vinny.
Sure.
One of the first broadcasters I met with the San Francisco Giants back in 1976, 77, and 78. Had a regular golf game with Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett, Lon Simmons, and myself. And so you get to know people on the golf course. And Vinny is just a pleasure. He's a delightful gentleman, a phenomenal broadcaster. And, yeah, you're right. He is retiring at the end of the season. And as I mentioned, I'm almost 40 years now in Major League Broadcasting. If I can go 30 more, I'll catch up to Vin Scully.
There you go.
An amazing story.
Well, maybe you can just do the home games too, Joe. That'll be easier for you.
Now you're talking, and now you got to be my agent. I think that's a good idea.
All right, now speaking of which, Fred Manfra, the last few years has been on the injured reserve list. We've heard him a few times this year. Let's talk about Freddie's status right now. Health.
Well, Fred's doing about 50 games this year. He's hasn't been real healthy the last couple of years. He had hip replacement surgery a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. That slowed him down, and it went bad, so they had to redo it. So he's had 2 hip replacement surgeries, and then last year he had 4 disc fusions done in his back all at the same time. So man, that's tough to overcome now. Fred, he spent a couple of months in bed, trying to learn how to walk again, and now he's up and getting around. He's doing about 50 games. And he's just a great guy to work with. He's got a phenomenal voice. He's a Baltimore guy, realizing his dream of broadcasting Oriole baseball games. But I think Fred is at the beginning of the end of his career, and he's looking forward to it. I think he's going to move to Florida, and he's got grandchildren there that he wants to take care of. So Fred's been a delight to work with, and I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him tremendously.
I remember when I was a student at George Mason, I used to help out ABC and, of course, other networks too at the Preakness, and he was always very involved with ABC Radio Sports back then as well. He loved the Preakness.
Oh yeah, he I think at the beginning of every season when I first went back to Baltimore, he would miss a bunch of games early in the season because he had to go to the horse race. Mm-hmm. So and that's something he missed too. But he's had a phenomenal career. And I'm very proud of Fred Manfra and our work together.
Well, let's talk about your neighbors, the Nationals. Dusty is a former Dodger, of course. You called some of his games, and he played for the Dodgers. And here's my opinion about Dusty. Whenever he plays the Dodgers, it's like Buck against the Yankees. His antenna's up. Dusty played on some great Dodgers teams with Pedro Guerrero and, of course, Welch and Hooten and Steve Sachs. So many great Dodgers that and he knows Chavez Ravine inside and out. They're playing them right now, of course, at home, but Dusty has done really well with the Nationals.
Yeah, I think Dusty's done real well with any team he's managed. With the San Francisco, I got a chance to work with Dusty Baker extensively when he was managing the San Francisco Giants. So I got to know what kind of a man he was, what kind of a manager he was. And as I said earlier in our conversation today, I think he's one of the best managers in the game, and I think he will have great success with the Nationals. But to give you an insight as to Dusty Baker and how he's able to capture the moment in whatever capacity he endeavors. As a player, he was on that Dodger ball club that had 430 home run hitters in the same season. And Dusty Baker was the last guy to do it that year. It was an historic season for the Dodgers. I mean, no team had ever done that before. It had 4 guys hit as many as 30 home runs in a single season. Dusty was the last guy to do it, and he did it in the final game of the season on his final at-bat.
Wow.
And everybody was rooting for him to get that done. Everybody eyes on Dusty Baker. Can he or can he not do it? Come on, Dusty. On his last at-bat, he hits the home run that gave him 30, and made that a foursome. So I think that gives you an idea about Dusty Baker and how he's able to capture he's a clutch guy, let's just put it that way.
Of course, he's managed the Giants, the Cubs, the Reds, and now the Nats. Of course, Strasburg's having a great year as well.
And he's had success with every one of those teams. He's had great success. So he's just an outstanding manager, yeah.
The Cubs are on fire. Cleveland's on fire. The Giants are always going to be there. So like you said, it's the Orioles and even the Nationals are going to have to button up here the next couple months just to, as you know, they've made the postseason a couple times the last several years, but they want to be consistently doing something in the postseason too.
I'll tell you what, if the Cubs were to go all the way this year, it would be the most memorable season, I think, at least among them, in the history of the game, because of their futility over so many, many years, and the fact they've come close a few times, and they got a new manager, excuse me.
Sure.
Not a new manager, but they've got a new attitude. And I think the All-Star break for the Cubs really came in handy because, as you know, Greg and Joe, they were struggling before the All-Star break. I think Jake Arrieta really needed the time off. I think Lester needed that time off. Arrieta, I think, responded with his effort in that game last night. So, yeah, I grew up in Chicago. I was born in South America. In Bogota, in Colombia, in South America. My parents brought me over when I was, 7 years old, and they brought us to Chicago. That's where I grew up. That's where I went to grammar school. That's where I went to high school. I became a diehard Cubs fan. I liked the White Sox. I loved the Cubs. I'd spend my summers at Wrigley Field. I'd hitchhike or walk to the ballpark. I mean, that's where I spent my time as a youth, and I became a diehard Cubs fan. People like Ernie Banks and Kenny Hubbs and George Altman. And, I saw Don Cardwell throw a no-hitter at Wrigley Field against the St. Louis Cardinals. They sent Stan Musial up as a pinch hitter, and Musial struck out in that game to complete the no-hitter. And I think I was the first kid on the field because I'd snuck into the box seat. So to me, those are wonderful memories. And when I'm not doing Oriole games, and I'm rooting for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, and the Cubs and White Sox have played pretty solid. Of course, the Cubs have played great this year. How many times have you been asked about Arrieta the last several years?
It's one of those things you think about what happened. And I'll tell you what, the Orioles, they gave Jake Arrieta every opportunity. And it happened over several years. They gave him every opportunity. It was just one of those things where he just never developed it to the point he did later as a member of the Orioles. It was obvious he had great stuff. But like we said about Kevin Gausman, at that point he just did not know how to win. He had not yet completely developed as a pitcher. He had a run-in with one of our pitching coaches. I think that held him back as well. But, hey, those are things you can't worry about because, the Orioles made a phenomenal deal, when they traded when they made the deal with the Seattle Mariners to get Adam Jones, Chris Tillman, they traded the left-hander Eric Bedard. So that's a trade that worked out wonderfully for the Orioles. Every team, every organization has a Jake Arrieta story, and they also have an Adam Jones story. So the things you live and die with, and you hope for the best.
Just ask the Mets about Daniel Murphy, of course. Well, give us a preview of tonight. Gallardo, 3-1. Most of his career has been with Milwaukee and Texas. Has he been an asset to the Orioles?
Well, Giovanni, as we said earlier, is always, shall we say, interesting to watch because he's a guy who loves to pitch. His whole idea of pitching a Major League Baseball game is to try to get the hitter to chase a bad pitch. And so rarely are you going to see Giovanni Gallardo throw the ball down the middle. He's always nibbling at the corners. He's always throwing breaking balls and changeups, even when he's behind on the count. He almost pitches like a finesse left-hander. So he's a guy who likes to take it to the limit. You're going to see a lot of pitches thrown, and if he makes a mistake at the wrong time, he's going to be quickly out of the game. At the same time, he has the ability to finesse his way through a lineup and occasionally give the Orioles a real good start. I think Giovanni right now is a number 4, number 5 starter in a good starting rotation. We're going to see him tonight. The big question for the Orioles is, will Matt Wieters be able to play tonight? Will Chris Davis be able to play tonight? And on Friday, when they go back to Camden Yards, will Darren O'Day be back in the Oriole bullpen? Those are key questions, and I think the Orioles these are 2 big games coming up at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, not to mention Caleb Joseph's had his issues as well with his health. Glad to see he's back in it. Well, thank you so much as always, Joe Angel. Always good to see you when I'm at the Orioles games working for Fox. You're a true national treasure, local, regional, national with the Orioles, and continued health and success at home and on the road.
All right, Greg. Hey, it's been great. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
My pleasure. Joe Angel right there. And Joe Daniel, I got to say this before we do our testimonial and go to break. It's always a treasure. We get very elite guests on this show. And for his trademark calls or just his insight alone, that's a lot of historical value to the fans.
No, absolutely. It's always good to have somebody like that, and just to hear from them on a personal level as well, and get to know their habits a little bit more. See the world through their eyes a little bit more.
He even gave a shout out to you as well. I don't know if you noticed that or not. So two Joes talking to each other. All right, Mattress Air Foam Water. We take your sleep seriously. John W. Smith is a manager right there in the Denby section of Newport News at 14501 Warwick Boulevard. Give him a call at 706-2694, mattressairfoam.com. You can see their link on Hampton Roads online mall.com as well. And, of course, half price of Sleep Number, digital air mattress, and, of course, great low prices at Mattress Air Foam Water, courtesy of John Smith in the Denby section of Newport News. We all need a good mattress. This is Sports Scene. I want to thank Joe Angel up until 1 o'clock right here. A lot more coming up. And we'll take a short break. We'll be back after these messages.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Postal World in Yorktown is a year old. Located at 2960 Hampton Highway in the Shady Bank Shopping Center, Postal World has a full line of boxes, shipping essentials, and work with major shipping companies to ensure delivery worldwide. Other services include fax, copy, and notarizing on site. For more information, give Postal World a call at 867-1033. Like us on Facebook or search postalworldllc.com. Postal World Yorktown, your shipping solution.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email the show, bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studios. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
All right, with Joe Daniel and, of course, the liner by Ken Johnson. Greg Bicouvaris, this is Sports Scene, also Sports Highlights on nnpstv.com. I want to thank Joe Angel, the voice of the Orioles, who they're taking on the Yankees right now, for joining us in the first half hour as well right here on Sports Scene. And, of course, we got some great testimonials coming up. highlights right there as well going on now. GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows of Sports Scene. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors and on the homepage of GJBTV.com. Save the date. We'll be back next Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene. HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Bookmark this website, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit over 80 local merchants. All you have to do is click their image, takes you right to the website. No typing, Google search, or spelling. Over 80 local businesses, great restaurants, coupons, of course, marketplace, services, retail, all on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Tell your friends. And, of course, I always mention the Twitter, HROnlineMall.com as well. Redskins training camp coming up in Richmond again as well, not too far away. And also congratulations to Joe Daniel. We had John, military gentleman, winning the Spaghetti Eddie's prize last week. He was really excited. Of course, you know how well that food is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He should be excited because that's a great prize.
Absolutely. Of course, always great shout-outs to our military for what they've been doing each and every day. All right, we'll take a short break, come back and talk some more sports, a little bowling here after these messages right here on Sports Scene.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Postal World in Yorktown is a year old. Located at 2960 Hampton Highway in the Shady Bank Shopping Center, Postal World has a full line of boxes, shipping essentials, and work with major shipping companies to ensure delivery worldwide. Other services include fax, copy, and notarizing on site. For more information, give Postal World a call at 867-1033. Like us on Facebook or search postalworldllc.com. Postal World Yorktown, your shipping solution.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, welcome back right here to Sports Scene. I want to thank again Joe Angel, the voice of the Orioles, for joining us. We get the elite guest right here on News Talk 1650. No other radio show in the state of Virginia gets the guests we do. I will be at the City Open tomorrow in Washington, D.C., doing the public address announcing. Anybody, any of the locals or tourists going up there, I will see you tomorrow at the City Open, and also working the Sparks Mystics game, Joe Daniel. WNBA, believe it or not, on Friday. I have not been to a WNBA women's basketball game in 14 years. That should be an experience. Always a lot of fun. The Premier Buffet in Hampton Roads is open. Tokyo Grill and Buffet. Indulge in this all-you-can-eat extravaganza, which includes Chinese, Japanese, hibachi, sushi, and American food, as well as fruit and dessert, too. Tokyo Grill and Buffet is ideal for every occasion with lunch and dinner, special occasions, banquet rooms, 7 days a week, right there at 49 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton, and they have takeout as well. You want to go by and see the good people at Tokyo Grill and Buffet. Well, what's a great thing to do any time of the year is to bowl. We had them on Sports Highlights back in February. Let's welcome Patrick Rollins, the general manager of AMF in Yorktown. How are you, Patrick?
Hey, Greg. How's everything going today?
Good, my friend. I guess it's funny with you talk about bowling. It's an indoor sport for the most part. I know there's some places that occasionally you can bowl outside, but at least on 17 in Yorktown and the great AMF brands all over the mid-Atlantic states, you like hot weather. You also like rain. You like snow. So weather is a big part for bowling.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is a big part. Plays a big factor. You know, it's we want it to be hot. We want it to be raining. We want it to be cold, so we want you to come in.
I've seen some great locations, and two of the best locations for AMFs are right there in 17 in Yorktown and the Western Branch location, right off the interstate. But where you're located at, locals go there, of course. The people got the leagues, birthday parties, kids, adults, senior citizens. But the tourists also go right by you to go to the 17.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's really good being a part of a national brand. And 3 years ago, in fact, we just celebrated our 3rd year anniversary of the purchase of AMF by Bowmore. And they've definitely done a lot to help us become more recognized throughout the nation, so that when people do come into our area as tourists, they know the name, they know the brand, they know what to look, and they know what to expect, which is awesome.
All right, give us a tour for the person for the first time walking in to AMF in Yorktown. What are they going to see? Talk about the hours and the amenities there.
Well, we are right now open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. We do have a late night crowd on Friday and Saturday nights where we stay open until 1 a.m., more of an adult atmosphere. We turn the music up a little bit for everybody. But it's a great place for all friends and family. You come in for the first time and you're just wowed. We have 12 80-inch projection screen TVs that play sports and music video. We have good music for all occasions that's going on. It's just a great atmosphere.
Absolutely, and of course, a great place to cool off and talk about people can, they rent the shoes. You got bowling balls there, but there are some savvy bowlers that like to bring their own equipment.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All different calibers of bowlers that come into our center. The best, you talk about the heat and everything out there. You look at all your kids, and they're off from school. They have so many different ideas of what they want to do, but sometimes it gets a little too hot to be outside. Well, you can come in here for one low price, and you can get our summer pass, similar to a season pass to most theme parks, and get 3 games and shoe rentals every single day until the end of the summer.
I think it's better. I think of like 4 things that you have to do in the summer. People always say Colonial Williamsburg or Virginia Beach, but you have to have AC. You have to have a pool. You have to have access to a beach. And bowling is the perfect complement because you've got the AC. It's like an amusement park in there. You got video games. You got the TVs. You got a great snack bar. And don't underestimate the snack bar folks at bowling alleys. You like Greasy Spoons on the Food Network? Bowling alley food is some of the best food you're going to have. Am I right, Patrick?
No, you're 100% correct. In fact, I remember when I first started, they sent me to New Jersey for training for 3 weeks. And the first thing I thought was, oh, man, this is going to be awesome. Bowling alley food for 3 weeks. I'm going to gain 20 pounds, right? I got there, I tried the first item, and I was truly amazed. It is 100% restaurant quality material or food.
Yeah, talk about some of the things on the menu and then talk about your social media as well.
Oh, we have a great menu. Our pizza is a Gio's Pizza out of New York. It's fresh made right here in the center for you. All of our excellent burgers. We actually have a brand new menu that just rolled out this Monday with a turkey melt and a buffalo. All of our sandwiches are served on gourmet sourdough bread. I mean, so you can't beat that. You know, if you ever get an opportunity, and you definitely want to just kind of look us out, go on to amf.com or even Bowlmore, and you can see our parent company, and you can get a good idea of what our centers are like.
And, of course, we're going to tweet this show later this afternoon. Our great engineer and producer and, of course, announcer as well, too, Joe Daniel, of course, not only produces the show now, but he also archives it. It'll be on YouTube. And, of course, people know, just go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link. It'll be on later this evening as well, talking to Patrick Rollins about the wonderful sport of bowling. Bowling has always been a big part of TV. I remember one time working as a kid with Chris Schenkel, the late Chris Schenkel on ABC, that people love their bowling. I mean, your leagues, you've got people that are really just diehards that will not miss a week there.
That is the truth. They actually become family. You know, bowling can be competitive, but at the same time, it is a great social event. It's a good way to get to meet people, make new friends. When I first started here, I didn't realize I would gain 1,300 new friends. See them every day.
I mean, you can talk about apps all you want, folks, or social media all you want. You need websites, you need Twitter, you need Facebook, you need YouTube, you need all that stuff, but there's nothing like a little exercise, too. That doesn't hurt either, right?
What do they say you burn, about 200 calories plus in an hour of bowling? I mean, if you could imagine, you know, lifting anywhere between 10 and 14-pound bowling ball and throwing 60 feet down the lane a minimum of 10 to 15 times.
Right. All right, let's ask for the person out there listening right now, maybe the local or the tourist. When is a very good time to bowl where they're not interrupted by the leagues?
Right now, you can pretty much come in anytime. I would stay away from your Wednesday nights. Tuesday nights are pretty busy. But we do have a lovely Sunday Fun Day special. If you come every Sunday after 6 p.m., it's only $250 per person per game.
Right. Is there something you recommend for a first-time bowler? I remember back when we were kids, you and I are in the same age range, the duck pins were exciting, but you know, I know they have lighter bowling balls, but let's talk about some of that real quick for some people that might say, wow, it's a little bit too big.
You know, if you have youngsters that feel like the bowling balls are a little too heavy, you know, we have ramps to help them get it down the lane.
Cool.
I've seen 5-year-old kids in here bowling, sometimes 4.
Wow.
You know, so, I mean, it really is. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are or what athletic shape that you're in. Everybody can do the sport.
Very good. All right, Patrick, leave us with something else about AMF, and I guess the brand is pretty consistent around the country. Is that correct, that when you walk into one, you pretty much see the same as the other, or does each general manager have their own flair?
You know, most of your AMFs are typically going to be similar. You know, the best part about our parent company is they believe in putting money back into the property. So you could go into a property today, think it might be run down. You go into it next year, and it's brand new again. You know, we've actually spent a lot of money renovating here at this center. You know, and that's a continuous effort, you know, year to year.
And, of course, you had a variety of backgrounds yourself before you even got into bowling, too, correct? Yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yep, of course, go to gjbtv.com. You'll see the nice AMF link right on the homepage. Patrick, stay cool, and, you know, we will talk to you soon. Always good to visit with you at the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Greg, and see you soon, bud.
Very good. My pleasure. Patrick Rollins right there, and Joe Daniel, of course, always like to get your feedback after each interview, too, as well. And, of course, the great fans that interact on Twitter and all the great prize winners we've had over the years right here on Sports Scene. That people love bowling. It's indoors. It's air-conditioned. It's fun, and it's social.
Yeah, exactly what he said. It doesn't matter what your age is. You can it's a full family event, whether, like, you can have a family reunion there, have kids bowl as long and as well as your 80, 90-year-old grandpa right next to him doing the exact same thing. It's very fun, social, and there's food there.
Right. You got everything is centered around food. I'm Greek, and of course I grew up with all types of food around me, and I've become a foodie. I did a show, it's still archived on YouTube, Where to Eat in Hampton Roads. But you know, when you talk about kids, you've got them, of course. My sister's got a daughter. Pizza, soda, cake, ice cream, bowling. That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, don't forget the nachos. You cannot forget nachos.
You can have the nachos. I'll take the Doritos. The nachos are too much for me. Introducing lunch at Outback, speaking of food, every blooming day with your favorites like Aussie tacos made with chicken, fish, or steak, or try their new ribeye melt top with bacon, cheddar, and garlic aioli, all on a toasted artisan bun. with over 70 lunch combinations starting at only $6.99. It's now lunch at last at Outback, 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. Go by and see Mike and the great staff, great rustic atmosphere, lunch, dinner. Of course, they've got the burgers, the steaks, the seafood, the pasta, the appetizers, the desserts, right there in Kempsville at 1255 Fordham Drive, 523-4832. Of course, see their great social media on their website, Outback, of course, Facebook, Twitter. They're all well connected. People love Outback Steakhouse in Virginia Beach at 1255 Fordham Drive. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with what teased me off after these messages on Sports Scene.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, back live right here on Sports Scene. I want to thank Joe Angel, the voice of the Orioles, and Patrick Rollins from AMF right here as our guest. GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link. Don't forget, Harry Minium will be on Sports Highlights on NNPSTV.com the month of August. We interviewed Harry recently for the show at the Narrow in Norfolk. What a nice theater that is as well. A locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, and much more. They showcase NASCAR, baseball, of course, college sports, golf, soccer, tennis. Like both locations on Facebook. Your football headquarters this fall is CP Shuckers, cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Go by and see Matt and Mark at both locations, Leon at Shore Drive, as well as Chris at Shore Drive. Great appetizers, burgers, pasta, seafood. They have great text specials as well right there at the Shore Drive location. Great place for locals and tourists is CP Shuckers as well. Let's get to what teased me off.
What tees you off? Presented by GJBTV.com
and Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. People constantly text. We've talked about this before. You just get one or two texts. Although I will say this, I can tell somebody more in 1 5-minute verbal conversation than pretty much 20 texts.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's inflection that goes along with it, and I don't know. It's just you can tell so much more exactly about their personality, about themselves. Yeah.
Right. You don't need to write a novel, of course. Right. Disruptive weather, like we've had recently, where power lines are down. Of course, we never want to see anybody get injured, but weather can be havoc even in the summer.
No, absolutely. Just last night, because of lightning, our lights were flickering and interrupting my movie, and so I had to restart it. So yeah, I can be a little disruptive.
Pool etiquette at an amusement park, you know that too, where everybody just runs wild. And of course, when kids start running, or even adults run, they can trip, fall in that concrete, and that ain't fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Danger.
Use a lot of sunscreen as well. All right, when you're at a restaurant with your family, and one person sitting next to you, you can hear them nonstop chatting. And of course, it resonates throughout the entire establishment, even at a movie theater sometimes.
Yeah, the worst is when they're on the phone, and they're just talking like super loud into their phone. That's the worst. Or yeah, it's somebody answering their phone in the movie theater.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Nothing worse than jet lag. I mean, to have an hour time zone is one thing, but 3 hours going to Europe overseas and then sitting on a small airplane seat. Not fun.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just the jet lag alone will take 3-4 days for you to get used to the new time zone. Yeah.
Public transportation is not big in Hampton Roads. I mean, if you look at some of the buses that are on the Virginia Beach Boulevard or Jefferson Avenue, you might as well just wait for the next eclipse to happen. It's not going to happen. But having to carpool with someone you don't want to carpool with, that can be awkward.
You guys had like different tastes of music, and nobody knows who's to control the radio, whether you let the guest control the radio just to be nice, or hey, it's my car, I control the radio, this is my music.
You can't constantly say what is your favorite color or what is your favorite steak or whatever, like that type thing as well. All right, you saw a movie recently. I saw Ghostbusters. What did you see?
I saw Pets. I took the family out to the movie theater and saw the movie Pets, or The Secret Life of Pets. That's what it is. It was pretty good. I mean, it was all right.
Ghostbusters, I give it a C. I think the digital special effects are nice. I think a lot more than back when it was, back in the day when we were like kids. But I think, it's special effects can make any movie a lot better.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what made Star Wars. I mean, it was a compelling story, but it was also the sound, the visual effects, the lightsabers themselves, and all that.
Right. I want to thank our great guest again, Joe Angel, the voice of the Baltimore Orioles, as well as Patrick Rollins from AMF. Greg Bicouvaris every Wednesday right here for Sports Scene on News Talk 1650. Don't forget Twitter as well, WHKT AM 1650. My Twitter handle, Greg Bick, that's GREGBIC. Interact with me there. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows as well. So this will be archived a little bit later. For Joe Daniel, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Happy Wednesday. Stay cool. We'll talk to you soon.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Senator Ted Cruz among the high-profile Republicans who will be stepping to the podium tonight on this third day of the 2016 GOP National Convention. For a preview, we go live to White House correspondent Greg Clugston in Cleveland.
Ted Cruz, whose presidential bid in 2016 was supported by party conservatives, had more than a few run-ins with Trump during the GOP primaries. And even though the Texas senator will be on the convention stage here in Cleveland tonight, he is not expected to formally endorse Trump, despite appeals for party unity from the Trump campaign and senior GOP officials. Rich?
Also tonight, Donald Trump's running mate Mike Pence will deliver his acceptance speech. The Kansas City, Kansas police chief says an officer who was killed yesterday was shot several times through the window of his car. Chief Terry Ziegler says authorities believe they do have all the